Hello and welcome to another episode of Wartune Solo Adventures. This episode will be on the topic of the new dimensions. Since the last patch, Dimension Wars got changed pretty dramatically. On the surface, the dimensions are still similar, but really they are quite a lot different now. So I thought I'd go through the changes and the strategy for the new dimensions, and I'll do a basic one. Basically, before the patch, dimensions were the main source of bound valence and some Eudemon materials and other random resources. You could get quite a lot of good stuff there for not too much work. Since the patch, this has changed. Now the dimensions are mainly for getting crystal shards and will crystal shards. You still get some resistance bonuses. You don't get bound valence and all the other stuff. You can get some bound valence, but not nearly as much as before. And the dimensions also last a lot shorter. But you can also finish a lot more of them per day, so maybe that evens out. One main difference is that it takes quite a lot more time to finish these new ones, since you have so much more energy to spend. So the time investment is larger. You get 3000 dimension energy, which will replenish every 30 minutes, I think. I'm not sure about the rate, but you can quite easily check it out. You no longer get any of these shards, so I guess I should sell mine. Instead, you can buy the dimensions here in the guild shop. You buy one coordinate chest for 1000 contribution and then open it to get one random coordinate, and that can be anything, any element, and basic, intermediate, advanced, or expert. Basic, of course, being the most common. So I'm just to show the difference, I'm going to open a basic water one, and I will use my water soap. And resources here decrease by 2.27% daily. This will increase to 45% daily once I finish all the 5 levels, which means that the basic and intermediate dimensions last for 3 days, so you get these bonuses for 3 days. So I'm starting out with 3000 energy, and basically these are the mobs, beginner's trial. They cost 40 energy to fight. And with my resistance, let's see what I have. Water resistance. Guess I have 1000. I'm not sure where the threshold is, but 1000 resistance means that each step on a normal square costs me only 1 energy. So the basic strategy is to ignore all fights and just try to complete it as soon as possible. So that's what I'm going to do. And the search pattern is the same as before. Just the minimum amount of steps to search all the squares, with the difference that you try to skip Okay, so just for sake of some time, I'm going to do one fight. These are super easy on the basic. I think they're even easier than before, but they still take some time. And you get either these. I think these 4 are the only rewards you can get. So Mara, Sepulchrum, Crystal Shards, or Will Crystal Shards. These are for the basic trials. For the harder trials, you will get the same stuff but in larger quantities. There we have the base, and just like before on the basic dimensions, it's 1 base per level. You can also see the amount of remaining bases in the info screen, or the so you can get regular resistant crystal, will crystal, more energy, or a revive, which is a lot less useful than before because you die a lot more rarely. So let's take a shortcut. So here you can see remaining bases 0, so that means I've conquered this level. And you can also see a summary of what resistances are used there. So the monster in this section causes 120% damage to player whose water resistance is lower than 40. So I'm past that with quite a good margin. Okay, so you will accidentally step on a few of these, but try to keep that to a minimum. And as you can see, most of the dimensions contains only these regular squares. You can also there are also these merchants, and by just hovering with your mouse you can see what they sell. I don't think any of the deals are particularly good, and you can't use bound balance, so they are not very interesting. But they are there, so you can also use this explore button here, and it will reveal one random of these events. That is a waste of energy. I don't think it will reveal anything but these trials, which are the ones you're trying to avoid anyway. I could be taking a bit suboptimal path here, I'm not sure. But since it only costs 1 energy per step, it's not a huge deal if I mess up, as long as I don't step on too many of these trials. So there's the door. Also, they removed all confirmation dialogues, so if you step on a door you will switch level, and if you step on one of the combat squares you will start right away. You can't choose to not fight, which can be a bit annoying, especially the stairs. If you accidentally step on one of them you will switch floors, so try not to do that. So far I've finished 2 levels and I'm at spent 250 energy, so out of my 3000. Here we go. There are a few treasure chests, and here's one of them. And you can hover over this as well to see what they contain, because this, as you can see, this will cost me 81 energy, so that's quite a lot if you are trying to minimize your losses. But and this particular chest contains 50 eternal heart. I want those, so I'm going to take it. You can also get Mara and I think the advanced versions. Yeah, you can get the rose petals for your marriage satisfaction and a few other items. No bound balance though. There are also one other type of chest that contains a random offering for the sacrifice, which has been upgraded, but it's also more rare. You used to get a couple per day, and these are the secret merchants, by the way. They won't show up on your map. They're just random, and the deals are pretty bad, I think, so you can ignore them. Yeah, so you get less offerings, but the rewards are better than before. And you also get one of the 4 random ones, so you can get the ancient offering from a basic dimension. Finally, there are also, well, there are a couple of more hidden squares. One is where you can actually die. You will step on a square and then pick one of four cards, one of which is death, and the other are energy and some rewards. And then you can also get the Bound Balan Mine, which still has the ability to give you bound balance. It's also a hidden square, so you can't really, well, you can search for it if you just step on every square, and it will initialize combat. Not too difficult. If you conquer it, you will conquer that mine, which will then generate a set amount of bound balance. I've only gotten 1 or 2, and both have been 20 bound balance per hour for 24 hours, which you have to claim, I think. You don't have to claim them every hour, but if you just ignore them... want to go past there? I'll go around, I guess. You won't get... You need to claim them at least a couple of times, I think. So that is basically 480 bound balance from one dimension. And it's from a random square, so I don't think it's one guaranteed per dimension. It's pretty rare, but still it's there and it's free, so you'll get lucky a few times, which is okay still. And this is the final level, so there are 2 bases here, and so I'm still searching for the second one. And there we go, that's the final one. And the dimension occupation completed, says the message. Got some more energy, so I'm done, and it cost me exactly 612 energy out of my 3000. So if this was an average, and I think it's somewhat average, it's not too far from what's normal. That means I can finish 4 of these basic ones per day. So that is a lot different from before. You can easily finish, well, 1 or perhaps 2 intermediate dimensions per day. And here these are my rewards that I will get daily. So 2,250 crystal shards and 750 wood crystal shards, which is very nice. It's not a bound Balen extravaganza as with the old dimensions, but getting a lot of crystal shards was pretty. I think it was impossible before, at least for free. So it's a change, but it's an okay change, I think. The unfortunate thing is that it's a lot more time consuming. Now I can only have 4, so I'm not going to be able to spend all my energy. But doing what I just did 4 times per day, that would be quite a hassle, I think. But the more advanced ones are also quite a lot easier than before, I think, so there's no real point in doing the basic ones. I'm just clearing out my inventory and trying out different strategies. For now, but I'm probably going to go on to only doing intermediate and advanced ones. Yeah, so there we go. That's a summary of the new dimensions. Good luck, and I'll talk to you soon.